Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vanessa Valerie. I'm a student of Vanessa Informatica University with a student number 4251126. I'm sitting right here to give my speech as my midterm test. And today's topic is my opinion of the new president, Mr. Prabowo. As a citizen and student, I believe it is our duty to observe and evaluate the directions of our nation is taking. Today, I would like to share my perspective on the first year of President Prabowo's work, especially to several areas where I believe the government's performance has fallen short of its promises. First, let us speak about the MPG project. Initially presented as a symbol of innovation and progress, it unfortunately turned into a costly failure. Reports of contaminations and mismanagement not only caused harm to the people, but also resulted in a significant final loss. It's found if it redirected could have been invested in education, an area that continues to hold the key to our nation's long-term growth and resilience. Second, the issue of cabinet expansion raises a serious question about governance and meritocracy. The appointment of certain ministers appears to be based not on expected unconstitutional guidance, but rather on political convenience. Many of these figures have demonstrated poor performance, yet remain in office. This undermines the principle of accountability and good leadership that every democracy society must uphold. Lastly, the promise of creating 19 million jobs remains far from reality. Unemployment continues to affect millions of Indonesians, particularly the youth. The economic policies have yet to translate into real opportunities for those who need them most. Promises are meaningful only when they manifest in the lives of ordinary citizens. In conclusion, my intention is not to discredit, but to remind. Leadership requires not only vision, but also integrity, consistency, and the courage to admit when policies do not work as intended. We, as the younger generation, must continue to voice our observations with respect and honesty, because law for our nation demands both and support when it's right, and criticism when it's colder. Thank you for paying attention to my speech today. Usage of models and requests. Winner's presentations midterm test. What are model verbs? Model verbs are helping verbs that express possibility, ability, permission, or request. Examples of models: can, could, might, can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, would. The most common models for making polite requests are can, could, may, will, and would. Why use model in requests? They make our requests sound polite, respectful, and natural. Politeness level. Each model expresses different level of politeness. Can sounds informal, could sounds polite, may sounds formal, will sounds natural, would and sounds very polite. Using can. When you pass me the book, for example, it sounds casually and friendly toned. Using could you please explain this again? More polite and softer tone. Using may I borrow your notebook? Using may I borrow your notebook? Formal and respectful tone. Using will you join us for lunch? Simple and neutral tone. Using would you mind helping me with my homework? Very polite and gentle. Adding please makes any request more polite. Example: could you please open the window? Intonations and expressions. Your tone of voice and facial expressions also affect how polite your request sounds. Avoid comments. For example, don't just say, give me your pen. Or you could just say, could you please lend me your pen? In a situational use, we can use may as a formal way. May I come? May I come in, sir? An informal way. Can you help me with this project? Dialect example. Anna, could you lend me your charger? And roughly answer, sure. Would you like me to plug it in? And then Anna answer, could you please help me find the grammar book? And then roughly says, may I check your laptop? There are common mistakes. Avoiding mixing model incorrectly. Can you may help me? That's the wrong one. Could you please help me? The summary. Model first are make request and politeness. Summary. Model first make requests polite and natural. Used based on the tone, formality, and situation. Let's do our practice. For example, using your own request, making your own request using can, or could, or may, will, and would. For example, can I have your number? In conclusion, model turn comments into kindness because it feels softer and natural. Thank you for your attention of my speech today.